3, 2, 1, start. Yeah. Alright, let's do this thing. It's a sad day. It's a sad day when you gotta cut these beautiful talents. Unfortunately, of course, we've already had a disaster occur over here. This guy's lost. This guy's pretty sad. But overall, ooh, not bad length. There's still a tiny bit of polish left here and there. Obviously got to solve that problem first, and then we're going to take them off. I'm going to use these evil things. Normally you don't use those on nails when you're trying to grow them out nice and long, but when you've got to make them short and you've got them long already, they're pretty good. So I'm just going to dab some of this nice purple on here. There's really not very much left. These multi-carbs can actually be kind of tricky to take off sometimes, but we're not going to have that problem today. Alright, that looks pretty good, pretty clean. Tiny bit left on you. Oh, that was a beautiful color. Oh, good stuff. So these guys have gotten quite nice and long. You can see that the shaping obviously gets changed by your day-to-day use on the nails. This is one of the coolest things about sort of growing your nails out and being aware and just sort of paying attention to these things is, you know, is the way that you live your life and the way that you interact with things in some ways is preserved on your nails. And I just found that really cool. It's like sort of human archaeology, you know, digging back. Just by looking at people's stuff. So, you know, this hand, pretty great. This hand looking pretty sad right now. Unfortunately, they all have to go. And to kill them, we're going to use a combination of these two guys. I'm going to use these for a nice rough cut. They can damage and break nails in the process, and we'll just have to deal with that when it comes along. In order to account for that to some extent, I'm not going all the way down to the base. Yeah, I'm leaving myself a bit of room. And that makes a really big difference for the next step. Look at these talons, man. That one's probably just fine to leave. Oh, real shame. But unfortunately, you know, guitars have to be played, man. You can, for the record, you can do almost everything with long nails that you can do with short nails. But it's work. You got to put in extra effort. And unfortunately for the school year, that's just a level of effort that I just don't have on a regular basis. I'm sorry. I love the nails, but it's all just fun and passion, you know. And inevitably, when work or real life comes along and starts to infringe too much, they gotta go, man. They gotta go. It's sad, but it's true. So there we go. That was a pretty clean run. Pretty good set of snips. Proud of myself. Alright. Let's move on to the next thing. Ooh, should I get it? What's grosser? To leave them out or to get rid of them? I don't know. Let's just leave those terrifying things there for now. Enjoy. Same sort of deal as before, except slightly different. And now that they're short, we no longer have the luxury of really being able to match cuticles. Instead, we're just focusing much more on matching this, like, flesh that's underneath the there we are, this flesh that's underneath the nail. Yeah, just trying to make sure it looks good with that, because now of course our context for each nail has changed a lot. Once they grow long, you know, you lose that sort of fleshy context that I'm using right now, and all you can rely on is cuticles. But now that they're short again, well, we're right back to facilities. Let's see if we can get that focus right. Nice. Away from the center, I still think is the right way, but hey, who knows? Somebody does for sure. It's a shame to see the big talent go, but one of the nice things about this is, of course, you can also just keep track of short nails. Like, short nails can also have care and concern paid for, and I think that's part of the reason using the crystal file is something I really need to get in the habit of again. For long nails, these little bursts are good, but if you use the crystal nip file more aggressively, you will just counter out all of the actual growth that you're your nails go through, and you'll be able to control the pattern as they come out, the shape of them, which to me is a pretty big double win. Overall, some of these cuts look like they actually went pretty smoothly. Trying to make sure that the edges of the nails aren't too messed up either, because that's often what happens when you're slicing. You get sort of like a tear. It's interesting stuff. I'm not quite sure how it works out like that. Or maybe it's just my bad nail scissors or something. I need superior nail scissors. Is that possible? Are there high quality nail scissors? Oh, probably. It's high quality everything these days. So yeah, this one's a little rough, so we're just making it feel a little bit happier, smoothing it out. Sad to see the big talons go, must admit. I'm still going to try to throw a little bit of polish on these. I must admit, I find polish on short nails a little more disappointing than polish on long nails. Long nails, obviously, bigger canvas. Short nail polish, of course, one of the big challenges is... there we go. Just trying to match that edge a little bit. See? So I got that curve going. Okay. Short nail polish, sorry, what I was saying was the short nail polish has a struggle in that it's much easier to sort of turtle it. You could build up layers as you're trying to do stuff, and it gets thicker more obviously more quickly. Whereas if you're kind of stretching polish along the nail, you have less of a buildup because you're distributing the polish across a larger area, sorry. So you're dragging the same amount of, it's like you take a particular amount of ink or paint, you put it on the thing, you drag it for a particular distance. People aren't so good at judging the amount they have on the stick, so they tend to put the same amount on the stick regardless. And then if you're dragging it over a short area, you get more buildup. It's that simple. You can obviously accommodate for that, but most of you are probably deloading your guy a little bit already, your brush a little bit already, and at that point, at a certain point, you just don't want to stress yourself out, right? So this one always seems to want to be more flat, and part of that's just the cuticle shape. There's a real art to figuring out how the cuticles of a particular nail work and what the best sort of nail shape is in relation to that, and yada yada. That's why you got to go see the professionals, man. They'll sort you out. Cool. So, pretty happy with that. Let's move on to the other hand. For the joy of the game. Ooh. It's been a pretty crazy broadcasting run on the old YouTube. I've really enjoyed doing this season. And the nail videos have been remarkably successful, all things considered. The shaving video went nuts, though. The first old-style shaving video, I have no idea. People keep finding it. It's like most videos, they have an initial burst of interest and then it wanes. But the old-style shaving video seems to be a sleeper, man. I don't know what to tell you guys. Man, I'm just doing a brutal job on this thumbnail. Look at that. Hideous. Hideous. This is definitely the cost of rocking the nail scissors. The dreadful nail scissors. The evil nail scissors. You can see why, though. Sure, the crystal file goes fast, but it takes a while to get through that much nail. We just gotta cut our losses at a particular point. Alright, doing pretty good over here. Getting there, piece by piece. Oh, yeah. The focus. The skill. The concentration. Doing my best, okay? Whee! See, one of the problems with social media, as somebody who actually posts stuff on it, is at a certain point you start looking at analytics and things, and then that's crazy addictive. If you think just posting things on a regular basis is addictive, try like having regular feedback on what actually is going on. Oh my gosh, like scrolling is bad, but the moment you start to feel like you actually have the ability to impact people's like random clicks on you, that's a slippery slope, guys. It's one of the reasons why my stuff is diversified across 3 different platforms at the absolute minimum. Not too many eggs in any particular basket, and whatever success occurs on whatever platform, however limited, I will know if it's significant, if there's actually any spillover into the other 2 platforms. Super standard stuff right there. But also, of course, it gives me the ability to compare stats. So, on a basic level, if I'm looking at, for example, my Instagram reports, they tell you a particular basic set of information that you can usually compare relatively easily to the YouTube clicks or to the TikTok stuff as well. But of course, you have to be aware that there's some sort of internal developer war happening there too. And each platform is, of course, specifically suited for different things. You know, the Instagram, for example, people really don't find your stuff on Instagram very much. Like the organic clicks that I've got there, or that people seem to get there, period. Very, very few, if any at all. They're pretty good here. Very few, if any at all, organic clicks on the gram. On the TikTok, on the other hand, it seems like just constant random feeds. So, you know, that really mirrors, I'm sure, how people actually use these respective platforms. On the one hand, people are using these platforms who are, just flipping through your For You page, and that makes it easier for people to find new stuff. So suddenly TikTok is a place for people to find new stuff, as opposed to Instagram, which is like, stalking people, I suppose. Yeah, I don't even know. The problem is, of course, I use Instagram to keep track of like what friends are doing, and I assume that that's what other people are using Instagram for too. And there might be a bias there, but just the way that Instagram looks and the way its interface is laid out, to me, the profile pages on Instagram are really attractive. They got a similar thing going on TikTok, obviously, but on TikTok it's all video. So on TikTok you have to click on things, whereas on Instagram you get an awful lot of pictures. So you don't have to click on things, and that makes a really large difference. Right? So when I'm scrolling through somebody's Instagram, I feel like I'm getting a pretty good idea just based on, the things that I'm seeing on their profile page. Whereas if I'm scrolling through the TikTok, I do actually have to click on videos at a certain point. Very different sort of setup. Well, this is coming through are relatively clear for you guys. We're just tossing on the bottom coat here while I chitter chatter away, doing my best to try and maintain good form. Nubs, I can do it. Almost there. I think I have just enough on this to polish off. I really wipe it off. There we are. So, got a rough base coat laid out. Busting out the pink. Not sure what I'm going to be doing. I got a pink, I got like a sparkly color. I was thinking base pink and then just a couple like highlight splashes, but you gotta be careful with that stuff. So we'll start with a nice base of pink. You can see I deloaded half the brush, and then I'm actually going to use the deloaded side to start my dribble painting. 1, 2. So the goal here, guys. The goal here, guys, is always to be as accurate and as thin layers as possible. And also, of course, not paint my cuticles, but hey, easier said than done. So we can see instantly the sort of differences in coverage between the sort of multichromes I've been using and then this, which is just supposed to be a flat pink. This can be an upside if you have polishes that you actually want to come out really thin, so that you can do some sort of layering thing. Then this is a good like factor to know about. There's certain sorts of times when this sort of polish is good, but in general, to me, it just feels like, you know, watery. Like, look at that. That was a perfect nail. Killed it. 10 out of 10. Yeah. I'll keep going. More pink. More pink. See, it's just not pink enough. I need more pink. Oh. I don't understand how pink got to be a girl's color, man. Like, I am pink. It blends in with my entire, it is me. Like, it's just a human color. Oh, people crazy. That's a rough one go. It's hard to judge how to do these guys. I think I'm going to go in for a second pass because I'm a nice guy. And I just want to see what it looks like with the second pass. That was a really brutal nail to start with. Forgive me for my sins. Oh, made up for it there, though. Confidence. I'm not gonna lie. This is fantastic practice for painting. Like, so good. Oh man, that was not my best nail, but forgive me my sins. Again, when I'm painting, I'm thinking so much about the brush and the brush shape, and this, this is painting, so nothing is different here. I'm super focused on like how to see that like slight change in the distribution. That's going to change how it goes onto my nail, and that's really cool to me. Again, you don't want to be doing this. I'm touching up spots, and I probably shouldn't be touching up quite as much as I am. I should just be committing. Ideally, you want nice and easy down the middle. One on each side. Move. Thin. Whoa, don't drip. Thank you. And thin and easy little spots. Oh man, that's going to turtle super hard if I don't get in there one more time. Okay, that's not the best, but not the worst. Come along. Cuticle totally flooded. Look at that. Ridiculous. That's a pretty good basic run through on the old Pinkaroo. I could do 2 more coats and get really thick and chunky, and then I would have nails that were actually sort of the color of the jar. But I don't want to do that. Instead, I'm going to take my gold, and I think I'm going to do just a simple, see, this is a glorious polish. And I think I'm just going to do little diagonal dealios. Okay. Nail art. Sorta. Very basic nail art. As always, when I start a new part of this, I just feel a little bit of stress, but we can do this. Ah! Not terrible. Pretty stinking bad. I didn't mix the polish well enough before I started that swipe. That's my fault entirely. Should have known from the loading on the brush. Committed anyway. Got punished. That'll do. That's perfect. That's not too shabby either. Bang. So yeah, nice and simple. Should dry relatively clean. You can try and go and fix spots when you're doing something like this. I do not suggest it. If you're gonna try anything, go grab the pink and come back and try and clean outside in, as it were. I might do that a tiny bit now that I've mentioned it. But it is just going to lend to chunk, to chunkiness, which is not desirable in a nail. You want your nails relatively flat, at least that's the normal style. People do chunky nails, and indeed there's all sorts of crazy cool stuff that could be done with them, but it's hard and complicated, and not for your average everyday, at least right now. Maybe someday in the future. Okay, same sort of plan. Same sort of finger crossing sort of technique here. Let's get in there. Oh, I'll take that. That was a strike. Look at that. Okay. See, to me, this is super intense, but... Come on, come on, come on. See the reflections? Not bad, not bad. People do precision work on nails, by the way. Precision. Pretty bad. Forgive myself, move on. I actually kind of like that. One more one. Ah! Not bad at all. Cool. So that's the overall look and approach. Again, you'll notice for me, I really like the golden colors, your bronzes, your silvers, and I also like things just to be relatively simple and subtle. You know, I'm a big dude wearing nail polish. There's no need to highlight it, no need to bring that much attention to it. I'm doing it for fun because I enjoy it. Just keep it simple. Let's not hurt anybody, let's not confuse anyone. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. This is probably going to be the last one of these for a while because I've gone short again. I can play all my instruments, I can have a good time, and it's not summer anymore, so I can't just goof off all the time. Yeah, right, I wish that was how it worked, but it's much easier for me to have long nails in the summer. And unfortunately, it's work time. Gotta make sure everything's functioning, ready to go. Thank you guys all so much for watching, for being here, for enjoying it, for seeing the progress, the life, the news, the pieces, all the good stuff. And I hope you had the most wonderful summer you've ever had, seriously, and I hope it continues to get better and things just keep on being awesome. And thank you all so much, and catch you in the next one.